So Freak Nation, Shawn Langdon, your Top Fuel points leader, joining us here in the Freak Nation. And Shawn, I was talking about my backdrop versus your backdrop. Your backdrop looks like you got some cans of tuna and maybe some soup in there. Might open up the doors and have something to eat. When I've got this 50th anniversary banner from the NHRA signed by everybody on the planet that's raced a race car. Do you want to change backgrounds, man?
Well, I do have a new collection that I just put up over there. The final round time slip signed by Don Garlits and Connie Coletta. So that was pretty cool.
I saw that. I don't know if it was Instagram or Facebook. That is, I mean, there are so many pictures of you guys as a trio, you with your team in this monumental 1,000th Top Fuel win. So many things that can be framed. But my absolute favorite was your time slip, signed by Don Garlits at the top, and he made sure to put 2025 there. And your team owner, legendary man, Connie Coletta himself. That's a piece of history right there.
First, Shawn, explain. I'll let you explain the significance of Big Daddy being there and your race win.
Yeah, that was cool. It's a little bit unexpected. I mean, I've told a story. I didn't even know that I had won, and went through the finish line, and there was a solid light versus a blinking light, and I wasn't sure what was what. But when I come around the corner, they put me to the good side, which is the TV side. So that was obviously I knew at that point. It's like, okay, we got the win, so that was good. And I saw Big Daddy standing there next to the trophy, and it was kind of one of those moments where it's like it slowly starts creeping on you, like, man, that's a little bigger deal than you thought it was. And to get presented a trophy by Big Daddy Don Garlits, I mean, a man that paved the way of drag racing and a legend. And I mean, it was definitely a pretty cool moment. And the coolest thing for me was I've, just in passing had small conversations or whatever, but never really like a one-on-one conversation with him. And it was pretty neat to be able to share some stories and converse with him top end. And that was pretty cool.
So Big Daddy Don Garlits, back up a second, Shawn Langdon, Top Fuel points leader, gets himself a win at the Four Wide Nationals in Charlotte. Big Daddy Don Garlits is your first Top Fuel winner back in the day.
1963.
Shawn Langdon is the 1,000th Top Fuel race. Whoever keeps freaking track of these races, I don't know. But 1,000th Top Fuel race, Shawn Langdon wins that. And share with the Freak Nation the significance of that trophy that you received.
It looked heavy. It was... I looked at it and I'm like, man, that's probably a little too heavy. Luckily, we had Bruno Massel down there. He's got pretty big muscles. So I was joking with him about he can carry it back and help me out with that. But it was pretty neat. Obviously, I believe it was Cold Hard Art, Tom Patsis that did that trophy, and he always does really cool stuff.
Oh, sweet.
So he always puts really, really cool things together. So he's very talented with that. And so I got to look at it a little bit, and then it was kind of like I was talking with Don, and then they're like, "Hey, you got to go," and then they're rushing me over here and there, and then the trophy went away, and then it was back at Winter Circle, and then it went away again, and I rushed to the airport and got back home. So I believe that the trophy's in Connie's office in Ypsilanti, Michigan, where it should be, because he's the man that gave me the opportunity and gave the whole team the opportunity. So I'm sure he was very proud in that moment in the Winter Circle. We were kind of talking. He's like, "Man, this is pretty cool, huh?" I'm like, "This is badass, Connie."
There are pictures of Don Garlits and Connie Coletta getting caught up. These are two men who back in the 50s, back in the 60s, they created this sport of drag racing that is now so beloved around the world. And Don Garlits, like Kenny just mentioned, won the very first sanctioned Top Fuel race. Connie Coletta, when Don Garlits won that trophy, Connie Coletta got a trophy of his own at that same event back in 1963. Now you bring it all full circle by winning with all three of you guys together in Charlotte, and then having your time slip signed by both of them. It's just mind-boggling. I know you said that it is starting to sink in, but is it really? Because this is a massive moment in not just racing history, but sports history in general.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I got the time slip signed, was because I was standing there and they were talking, and I was letting them talk, and I was standing there and I looked around, and it's kind of like the moment hit me of, there's 3 people sitting here, and there's Connie Coletta, and then there's Don Garlits, and then there's me. And what am I doing here? And how did I get here? And it was kind of one of those moments that my hand was in my pocket, and I felt the time slip, and it just kind of hit me at the moment. I'm like, man, I got to get these guys to sign this time slip. So, but yeah, it's crazy for me. I mean, I was asked going into the weekend, what would it mean to you to win the 1,000th Top Fuel event? And it's just, my mindset is really just, I treat a test run like I do first round, like I do a final round, like I do if it's the 1,000th race, or I do if it's racing for a championship. I always just kind of feel like I keep the same temperament in my mind at all times. That way, no moment is bigger than another when I'm sitting in a race car, to where you put any more or less pressure on yourself. I always just feel like I want to give 100% every single time, whether it's a test run or whether it's racing for a championship. So that way my mind and body only know how to give 100%. And so going into the weekend was like, what would it mean? I was like, oh, it's another race, and we'll just do the best that we can and prepare the car and hopefully walk away with the victory. And then it was, after it was all said and done, you get top end, get presented the trophy, get in the winner's circle, do all the stuff. And then Don's Garlits is standing there, Connie Coletta sitting there, and it's just, then it starts creeping in of like, man, this is a little bigger than you thought it was.
Well, let's talk about that, because you're also a series champion. So the moment of you realizing that you had won the Top Fuel championship, how does that compare to the moment you realized, oh my gosh, I just won the 1,000th race, with all these massive headlines set to come?
Yeah, I mean, dating back, 12 years ago when we raced for the championship, man, I was a nervous wreck. I didn't know, I'd come out of the Lucas team, and we had some success with the Lucas team, but then going to the Alan Abbey team with Alan Johnson and Brian Hewson, we had a lot of success, and I don't think I was really prepared for it. And it's just, a lot of the media and how to deal with sponsors and different things like that. It was all really kind of new to me. So getting down to the last couple of races for the championship, I was a nervous wreck. I didn't really sleep well. I was so nervous. I was jittery. To be quite honest, I'm really fortunate to have such a great race car at the time, because I didn't really feel like I drove that great that I would consider myself a champion. I felt like there's plenty of other years that my personal standards, I felt like I drove a lot better. Just didn't have the success like we did in 2013. But I remember after that year, when everything kind of calmed down, one of the things in the off season that I really tried to push on myself is really focusing on treat every round the same, and build that confidence in yourself that you don't make moments bigger one time than the other, because you're going to put more pressure on yourself, and you're going to fold under pressure. And so I think just, as you go through the motions and you learn from experiences, and I really try to take each experience and learn from it. And that's what makes me tick, I guess.
Well, look at you just putting the perfect bow onto this entire story as to how you came into this weekend so even-tempered, even-mannered, and look what it did. And it's all because of what you learned off of being too nervous in your championship run.
Yeah, well, and there's so much to it too, because you get with a good team and you have a good car, and crew chief's doing a great job, and the crew's doing a great job, and they give you a perfect race car. Even like last weekend, I didn't really feel like I drove that great. I did okay. I was average, but I had a great car. And there's a lot of races I go 40s and 50s on the tree, and we get the round wins and race wins potentially. But last weekend I was 60s and 70s. I didn't do anything spectacular, but I had a great race car. And obviously Connie gives us a great great foundation of he gives us all the resources and everything to compete for race wins and championships. So we try to do the best job that we can for them.
It's going to go down to lanes 1 and 2. Shawn Langdon appears to have the pace. It is Shawn Langdon.
When Brittany laid down that 341, when does that mile per hour make a difference? Can you feel 300 versus, can you feel 310 versus 340 or 330?
Yeah, and it's tough though, because you're still accelerating and you're still going fast, right? But it's a matter of a lot of times when you make the right decision in the race car, it's because your mind and your foot do things before you kind of catch up to it. And so a lot of it is down track when it's not really under deceleration, but it's not accelerating as hard as it normally does, and the G meter's not spiking up, is typically when you notice that there's an issue. And typically in those cars, there's really no small issue. It just goes from going good to really bad, really quick. So it's hard to catch it. It really is. And a lot of times when you do it the right way and you catch it quick, your mind's playing tricks on you because you're going in the shutdown area going, I'm pretty sure I felt something. I'm not really 100%. And a lot of times you kind of walk in, I think I felt something. I'm pretty sure I felt something. So, but it's just seat time, it's laps. You can, the run that we made on Friday night, we went 366 and it went 300 miles an hour to 8th mile, and we went 333 miles an hour. So, but a lot of times I'm going to say it's around like 300 to 500 feet is where you feel the acceleration of where you really know that you can say that was a good run.
Shawn Langdon, NHRA Top Fuel winner from 4 Wide Nationals. You're only 2-time Top Fuel winner this year in the NHRA. You've got 4 out of the 5 races where you have different winners in Top Fuel. Parity's easy to jump on right now. You don't have the number of cars that a NASCAR Cup Series has or IndyCar has out there on the track. Did you see this coming over years past, the parity in Top Fuel?
Top Fuel has always been pretty competitive. It's just a matter of how many cars are going to be competitive. I mean, we had years ago, we probably had 10, 12 cars that were competitive and compete for race wins. And we still have that. We just don't have that many full-time cars right now. But there's some really good running cars that come out, a couple times a year. And I mean, you look at guys like TJ Zizzo, that's, going to come out in Chicago, and he's probably going to lay down some good runs, potential number 1 qualifier, and compete for the race win. But yeah, I think through the years, so many people have worked with so many people, and the parts are all the same. And all the crew chiefs kind of have, about the same setup. I mean, you look at how good a lot of these cars are, but they're all separated by a few hundredths of a second, which is good because you're able to rely on the driver a little bit, and it puts a little pressure on the drivers to be better, which is great for the sport. And it's good when you see. I mean, nobody likes to see the same winner every week. I mean, obviously, we want to win every week for our team, but as a fan, nobody likes to see the same guy win every week, guy or girl win every week. So having a competitive class like what we have right now, it's good for the sport.
Shawn, same thing happened to Tony Stewart at the 4 Wide Nationals in Las Vegas, where his reaction times were very good leading up to that final race, and he kind of sucked hind boob at that last race, but overcame the issues on that track and won that damn race. Can you explain to the Freak Nation what it means to have top-end power in a Top Fuel car, how that can make the difference depending on, even if you have a kind of a crappy light?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes back and forth. I mean, that was one thing I came back and I told Brian, I said, thanks for saving my ass right there. And he kind of chuckled and he said, yeah, well, you've saved me a couple times. So, it goes back and forth, but you're racing for thousandths of a second essentially. And I mean, there's plenty of races that have been separated by 2-3 thousandths. And so, yeah, you may miss a tree 100th or 2, which that's essentially what I felt like I missed it in the final. And but Brian stepped up the car from the second round to the final. He picked up 600ths. So, the guys gave me a great race car, and I mean, they're the reason we got that win.
Freak Nation, Shawn Langdon joining us here, Lucas Oil Studios. And Shawn, did the partying change any different?
He flew home.
I know, it's like
you couldn't celebrate at the track, could you?
Doug's told us that before too. You hop on one of Connie's airplanes, you got to get the hell home, right?
Well, I mean, Doug, Doug, he flies Connie back, so he's out of there. I head down to CLT and hop on American Airlines, but I had to get through security, so it got pretty tight there for a second, but I ended up making it. So and I'm a company guy. I didn't want to have to change my flight, cost Connie more money, you know?
Right.
So, yeah.
Goodness, you just made history, and you were worried about making your flight so you didn't have to pay to change it. Oh my!
No,
God.
I mean,
Come on, Crash.
no, I'm just joking. No, you know, we did.
No, that's amazing. That says a lot about you. That's huge.
Yeah, we obviously did the winter circle and you know, to do the media and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, after that, it just, you know, you get where you're tearing down. I mean, the guys are essentially just tearing everything down to get the stuff back to the shop so they can get back to work, because, you know, Chicago's coming up here in 2 weeks. So so times have changed over the years. I mean, it's not, 10 years ago maybe it would have been a different story where you know, you'll go back and you'll party a little bit and have some fun and then worry about tearing down the next morning. But times are a little different now, so it's a little more corporate.
Well, and I also just like hearing that story. It makes you more real. I mean, you're a guy that goes 330 miles an hour. That's mind blowing to 99% of the population out there. So hearing that, yeah, you have security issues at the airport too, just like us, and you're running to catch your flight just like us. It's just, wow, you're real. Oh my gosh.
TSA is not really efficient at CLT, so you got to make sure that you're They need to work on clear, because pre-check gets backed up pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, something I haven't asked drivers in it's been decades. Well, we've been doing this 25 years. Joe Amato told us a story back in the day where, and again, maybe it was the beer talk on the golf course with him and Kenny and somebody else I was playing with, that he had 2 detached retinas from the parachutes with his car at the time. Are there still issues like that in Top Fuel or Funny Car when the chutes deploy? It has such a jerk on your neck and your upper extremities.
That was pre-Hans device. I mean, a lot of these guys wear Hans and Hutchins now.
But do you kind of feel your eyes go?
You know, when you hit 2 chutes, you drive into 2 parachutes, you can feel it, and it's more of if you aren't utilizing your safety equipment properly is where you know. But with the 7-point harnesses now with the Hans device, I mean, it's a pretty big, going from up to 6 Gs, and then you throw the parachutes and it goes to like a negative 5 or 6 G. So it's a pretty big swing. And I think a lot of that is why, you know, a lot of the interviews, everybody's out of breath, is just, you have a big swing right there of G's and you're not really breathing, and it kind of takes your breath away a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I know that I've had issues before of, you know, not having the proper equipment, where it's just, I kind of put the equipment on, I had the equipment per the rules, but it wasn't proper. And I've had issues that, where, you know, neck and back and different things like that of extending too far and everything like that. But yeah, once you get it, you know, right for you and how you sit in the car and everything, it helps, but it definitely, I wouldn't imagine racing today without a Hans device for sure.
How times have changed when engines explode and blow off half of Big Daddy's freaking foot to Snake settling races with guys with guns to where we are now, man.
Thank goodness things are where we are now, okay?
Yeah, you can barely get away with saying a bad word on TV today.
I know it.
FCC fine.
Well, man, thank you for taking time out, dude. Congratulations. It's a long damn season, man. Keep up the work, all right?
All right, well, thank you guys. Appreciate it.